been corrected on that a couple of times, so I want to make sure I get that right. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mounir Benzegala. I'm a former basketball player of the Algerian national team. I retired 2 years ago. Now I am a head coach at Spring Creek Academy and TRT Academy in Plano, Texas. I started playing basketball when I was about 8 years old with my brother, older brother. I started just playing at the parks for fun with all of his friends, and played organized ball with a team in middle school and high school at Worthington Kilbourne High School in Worthington, Ohio, where I graduated in 2005. Had a scholarship to go to community college for 2 years, where I started at point guard and was amongst the leaders in the United States of America of junior colleges in assists, and then finished up at the University of Tampa, where I received my bachelor's degree in 2010. So the summer of my junior year of college in 2009, I was invited to play with the Algerian national team in the Arab Championships when I was 21 years old. It was really an exciting experience just to be able to stand in front of the flag, represent my country, my father's country. It was my first time actually in Algeria, and fell in love with it right away. I felt like I learned about my father and my father's side of the family just by visiting and understanding Algerian culture a little bit more, because I grew up and without ever visiting Algeria. It was almost like not only a basketball experience, but learning my background as well. Most of my basketball career was actually representing the national team, standing for that flag. You know, I just remember, you know, the national anthem playing and understanding the responsibility of representing a whole nation. One game that stuck out in my mind, playing against Cameroon in 2015, which was an Olympic qualifying event. We were able to win that game by one possession. It might have been 63-62. And I remember guarding the guy who took the last shot, and just the ball in the air, and we're all watching whether he's going to make or miss, and we ended up victorious in that game. I remember getting back to the hotel at 1 a.m. and realizing that we had to get prepared for Senegal, and just a quick turnaround. So it shows you, it's one of those, you know, lesson learned. 1 minute you're celebrating, the next minute you're preparing for a very tough opponent the next day. I thought we gave them a tough 20 minutes of basketball, but didn't have the energy to finish the game. I remember, you know, looking at all my teammates at halftime, and everybody's tired, and they're like, man, you know, always share with my guys about always being ready for the next situation, and not over celebrating. Sometimes things just come together simultaneously at the same time. That's kind of what happened with Bucking a Dream, my retirement, getting this job here as a head coach of an academy that specifically looks for international student athletes. We ran those camps, and a couple of kids were detected, and that was the summer that I retired playing. And I was contacted by an old friend who said, there's a prep school that is looking for international student athletes. So I started, you know, just wanting to place these kids, and then I ended up receiving the job at Spring Creek Academy, which was a real blessing. We were able to bring over 5 student athletes, and those 5 were Zinedine Budri, Adel Malak, Amin Bouarifi, Amin Ben Salah, and Mohammed 20. There was another one, Mohsen Othmani, who came, but unfortunately he left because of injury. 2 of those have graduated this year, and we have 3 others that are graduating in the class of 2021, all expected to be student athletes at the collegiate level. So I'm very excited for these kids and their opportunity. 3 at Arizona Western, thanks to Mehdi Shariat, who is also one of the founding members of A Bucket and a Dream. He was obviously the contact point for Arizona Western, being that's where he went to school, and he was the one who placed Hind and Miriam, and also a gentleman who was our first student athlete that we placed, Abdurrahman Haylouf, who in his freshman year was one of the nation's leaders in blocked shots. So, and then also there's another gentleman named Abdel Nasser Rabhi from Ain Turk, but he is in a program called CYM, Creating Young Minds Academy, plus Faris Rimouche, who's also in Chicago. So you have 10 in the last 2 years who have been placed from Algeria. We went from 0 to 10 really quickly, and I think it gave the young generation hope that there's chance outside of just the normal playing for your club in Algeria. Inshallah, there'll be more doors open for more Algerian players with the goal of finishing a collegiate degree and also coming back and representing the country one day. We just want to one day see these kids at that level representing the country like we did, and look at that flag and play with that pride that we had, but with even more experience than what we had at their age. So the experience that they're getting, we're hoping that it'll carry on into a very strong international team for Algeria one day.